Okay. So the title of your manuscript should be very concise, specific, and relevant. It should describe the purpose of the paper. Why this article? What is the purpose of writing this article? Who will be benefited by this article? So all such things can be understood by reading just in the title itself and mention the new works. What is the new work you have done in this article? How it differs from the already existing article? So such things you must represent. You should try to represent the title itself. And the words like a new novel, enhanced, such words can also be used. And based on the title of the journal, you must write your article title. If you are submitting an article to Optical Materials Journal, then you must use the word optics and materials in your title itself. And you must write the article with more of optical properties and materials property. Otherwise, you can do the reverse way, reversely. You can focus on optical properties. You are writing an article with the most of optical properties, and you can choose the right article, journal like optic or optical materials or optics research. So such journals, if you are taking, means you are going along with the scope of the journal, and therefore the possibility of acceptance is more. And similarly, include the rare studies if you have done something, and also try to include new calculation parts in the article title. For example, those who are doing crystal growth research, they can include polarizability calculations or third order NLO calculations. So such things you can include. That will enhance your paper's quality. Similarly, check the grammar of your title. That is very important. If you have some problems in the title, people will never read your articles. And also the title should be very attractive to the readers. So these are the considerations you must follow when you write the title of the article. Next, author's list and affiliations. Author's full first and last name must be provided. The initial of the middle names can be added. The standard format is used for affiliations with the complete address for information, including cities, zip codes, state, province, and country. And at least one author should be designated as the corresponding author, or two or more authors also can be added as the corresponding author. And his or her email address and other details should be included in the front page of the manuscript. So we'll link the mail ID in ORCID, Scopus, Google Scholar, Science, etc. Therefore, the mail ID will be getting popularized. And you always use the same mail ID for all the publications. A single researcher should not use more than one email IDs for various publications. For using a single email ID, then your profile will be very strong, and that will give you the possibility. Then try to have collaboration with research scientists. Research is better when you go for collaborative studies, because you can have characterizations, you can have better writing, better English checking. So all these things can be done by having collaboration. So always the collaboration will enhance the quality of the paper. Similarly, the paper will get the enhancement by having the best co-authors. Okay, next, abstract. So this abstract is the short form of the entire article, and it has its own criteria. The abstract should be of totally 200 words at the maximum, and it should be a single paragraph and should follow the style of structured abstract but without headings. You're not supposed to use any heading in the abstract. And the background, methodology, results, and conclusion, all these things should be discussed in the abstract itself. So place the question addressed in a broad context, highlight the purpose of the study. So that is the background of the abstract. And method, describe briefly the main methods that are used in the present article. And similarly, summarize the article's main findings, characterizations, and the results can be given at short. And conclusion, Indicate the main conclusions and interpretations in the conclusion part of the abstract. The abstract should be an objective representation of the articles, and it must not contain the results which are not presented. So we should not tell anything in the abstract which are not involved in the article. So what is there in the article that should be given in the abstract. Next, so the abstract can be formulated based on this outline. So initially you give the importance of the material and its applications. Then you go for the methodology. What is the method we have adopted and how it differs from the already existing materials. Then also highlight the experimental work. If you have done something innovative, then you must highlight the experimental work. Similarly, you can give the confirmation analyses like single crystal XRD, powder XRD, so something. Then physical chemical characterizations can be given. Then you go for application studies. Then you can give the devices and pattern details. When we talk about the keywords, you can use 3 to 7 keywords in the abstract. The keywords are specific to the articles and is only common with the subject discipline. So you must provide the keywords which are related to your subject. Maybe keywords can be given by using these criteria. For example, you can use you can represent new studies. What are the new studies you have made? What are the new methods you have adopted? Or new materials made? Or confirmation analysis? Or what are the main characterizations you have done? Or what are the applications you have focused? So such things can be given as the keywords. Then similarly, research manuscripts. Rather, the materials, methodology, or results and discussion, that is not more important. The introduction part is more important. Here you must define why you have chosen the problem and how you are going to solve the problem. What has been already done in this problem? So what is the innovative work you are going to do in this problem? So all those things must be defined in the introduction part. So the editors will mainly focus on the introduction part, what you have done, so what you are going to do. So results and discussion is common. So you can differ in the, you can show your difference in the introduction part. So that is more important. And now I will tell you how you can differentiate your article with others in the introduction part. So I'm going to tell you now. So the introduction part highlights why the title is important. You have given already the title, how it is important. Okay, such things can be given. Then it should define the purpose of the work and its significance. What is the main purpose of doing or writing this article? And also, the current state of research field should be reviewed carefully and publications be cited. So, what are the work already done related to this article? Everything should be given the reference and briefly mention about the main work, main aim of the work, and highlight the main conclusions. Here you can see the outline of the introduction part. Maybe the first two sentences you can focus on application, and next you can give all the cases with references. Then you can give 2 sentences about the materials and its properties and what are the research have been done in the material so far. Then 2 sentences about the important characterizations. The last paragraph is more important. As I have told you, the last paragraph of the introduction part is more important. Here you are going to, you are free to express your ideas or how the article differs from the existing articles. Here you have to provide the novelty of the article. So you can define how it differs from the other articles. Okay, so here you can give what are the enhancement in the results you have got. So for TiO2 materials, so such things can be given in the last paragraph of the introduction part. Next, materials and methods. So materials and method. Here you can always go for new materials or methods and protocols, and they can be described elaborately. If you are doing the same method on same material, then there is no use of your material for the society. So you should always try to adapt some new materials or new methods or some changes in the existing methods and materials. Also give the name and version of any software if you are using that should also be given, and allow others to replicate and pull down the publication results. So if you are writing an article, that should be cited by the forthcoming researchers and it should be useful to the researchers. An outline of the materials and methods. You can write the materials and methods title based on the following points. Initially, you represent what are the parent materials. You can mention with their physical and chemical properties and the chemical formula. Then you can focus on various experimental procedures that are adopted by you for these experimental procedures. And also give that what is the temperature, what is the pressure, what is the RPM, rotation per minute, and time, days. So here every experimental procedures, the details should be given in the experimental part. And also try to use color photographs, maybe during the synthesis procedure at different durations. You can this will give you more attention, and also it will be attractive when you write your articles. So some journals are expecting characteristics and techniques. Your title here you can just give the list of studies you have done and their instrumentation details elaborately. And also you can give the measurement details. And results and discussion. So this result part provides a concise and precise description of experimental results and the interpretation as the experimental conclusions that can be drawn. Similarly, you can give the result discussion part based on the result. The result part, what you are giving is based on the characterization analysis. Whatever you are getting from the analysis, you are representing here. And in the discussion part, you are going to discuss about the result. Why you have got such result, the positive result or negative results. Why you have got the positive result or why you have got the negative result. So if we are getting some negative result, why? Is there any application of the negative result? And if you are getting some positive result, can it be used for some applications? So such discussions can be discussed in the results and discussion part. And the main findings and the implications. Okay. So here you can we'll be seeing about the conclusions and patterns. The conclusion part you can just you have filed out of your work, that can also be mentioned in the patent's title. We can be seeing about the back matter. So when we talk about the back matter, okay, when we talk about the supplementary materials, it describes any supplementary materials published online alongside the manuscript. The supplementary material may be figures or tables, videos, spreadsheets, etc. Similarly, please indicate the name and title of each element as follows. For example, if you are giving some title, then figure S1 and the title. AS means supplementary. And similarly, if you are giving some tables, then you can give S1 and the title of the table and etc. Minutes. Half a minute. That some funders will not refund articles processing charges if the funder or the grant numbers are not clearly and correctly identified in the paper. So when you write the articles, the acknowledgement part, you must be very clear with the numbers. The numbers which are provided by the funding agencies should be very clearly indicated. Participants, if you have any doubts, you can ask at the end of the session. Okay, references. Reference is more important and it enhances the possibility of publication. The references, you cannot take any references from any journals. The references must be based on your literature survey. You have taken certain materials, but based on the materials property and the research already done in the material, you have to take the literature survey. You are doing TiO2, then the to avoid self-citation. Some people will be referring their own references. Out of 30, 20 will be their own reference. So we should avoid such references. In order to increase the Google Scholar or Appendices index, they will be doing like that. But it is better to avoid such things. But whereas you focus on the references which are very relevant to your article. There are certain criteria for making our publication accepted in certain journals. That is, if you are going to submit your article in certain journals like optical materials, then what you have to do, you have to search for references from optical materials. Maybe in the recent years, maybe 2019 or 2020, then try to give the reference as in your reference list. Therefore, the journal will be very much happy to see your see that their articles are referred by you, therefore they will give you importance. So this is one of the short technique to have the to increase the possibility of publications. Similarly, preparing the references with the bibliography software package is highly recommended because there will not be any errors or repetition of the reference is avoided. You can use softwares like EndNote or reference managers to avoid the typical mistakes or duplicated references. And citations and references in supplementary files are permitted provided that they also appear in the main text. So you can give reference to the supplementary materials, but the same reference should be given in the main article. And reference may be in a consistent format as expected by the journals, and it is essential to include authors' names, journal book title, article or chapter title where required, and year of publications, volume, issue, and pagination. The use of DEO is highly encouraged because it gives direct link to the articles which you have referred. And in the text, references must be given in the following format, maybe in the square bracket 1 or square bracket 1 to 3 or 1 comma 3, like that you can give. For embedded citations in the text, the pagination use both parentheses and brackets to indicate the reference numbers and the page numbers. For example, you can give the references 5 in the square bracket. Then you can give the page number in which page of the article you have cited. That also can be given in the parenthesis p dot some numbers. The reference list should include the full title as recommended by the author's guidelines in the journal's author's homepage. Similarly, the style. The style files for EndNote and Chidoro are available in the journal websites. They have their own templates and you can use it. Then reference in supplementary files. Citation references supplementary files are permitted provided they appear in the reference list and main text. And authors' contributions. Some journals will be having many authors, and what is the contribution of each author should be mentioned very clearly. So each author is expected to have made substantial contributions to the conception of or design of the work or the analysis or interpretation of the data or the creation of new software used in the present work. For research articles with several authors, a short paragraph specifying their individual contribution must be provided. You can see here the following statement may be used: methodology, some author, then software by some author. So like that you can give the individual contribution of each authors. Then conflict of interest. So others must identify and declare any personal circumstance or interest that may be perceived as inappropriate influencing the representation or interpretation of reported research results. If there is no conflict of interest, please state that the authors declare that there is no conflict of interest. So if you are giving this statement, then the article has no issues even in the future. And the role of funding sponsors in the choice of research project, design of the study, the collection, analysis, or interpretation of data, the writing of the manuscript, or a decision to publish the result must be declared in this section. There is no role. Please state the sponsors has no role in the design, execution, interpretation, or writing of the study. For more details, please see the conflict of interest of the previously published papers of the same journals. Okay, next, preparing figures and schemes and tables. So file for figures should be, schemes must be provided during the submission in a single zip and sufficiently high resolution, maybe 1000 pixels with the height. And there are certain picture qualities that are described in each journals. And common formats are accepted, but however, TIFF, JPEG, EPS, and PDF are preferred by the journals. Journals can publish multimedia files related to the articles and the supplementary materials. Please contact the editorial office for further information regarding the supplementary materials. And also, all figures, schemes, and tables should be inserted into the main section, main text close to their first citation, and they must be numbered following their numbers appear in the main text. They can be given as figure 1, scheme 1, figure 2, scheme 2, like that they can be given. And all figures, schemes, and tables should have a short explanatory title and a caption. All table columns should have a explanatory heading. To facilitate the copy editing of large tables, smaller fonts may be used, but not less than 8 font size. So 8 is the minimum font size that can be used for writing the research articles. And others should use the table option of Microsoft Word to create the tables. Now others are encouraged to prepare figures in colors, and red, green, blue are preferred. When you draw the graphs using origin, you can use all these colors and try to put the results or values in the figure itself, and try to use these RGB colors. There may be no additional cost for publishing full color graphics in online. Then the supplementary materials, data deposit, and software source code. So it's have a data availability, then computer code and software, supplementary materials, unpublished data, and references in supplementary materials. So we'll see all these. Data availability means in order to maintain the integrity, transparency, and reproducibility of the research records, others must make their experimental research data openly available, either by depositing into the data repositories or by publishing the data and files as supplementary information in the journal. So the authors are expected to have the background data always. They should be ready to submit at any time. And computer code and software for work where novel computer codes were developed, and authors should release the code either by depositing in the recognized public repository or uploading as supplementary information to the publication. The name and version of the software used should be very clearly indicated. Then supplementary material. So additional data and file can be uploaded as supplementary materials during the manuscript submission process. The supplementary files will also be available to the references as part of the peer review process. Until file format is accepted, however, we recommend that the common non-proprietary formats are used where possible. And English corrections. This is more important when you submit a research article. To facilitate proper peer reviewing of your manuscript, it is essential that it is submitted in grammatically correct English. So if it is not clear in English, then it will be rejected in the initial stage itself. And if you are not a native English speaker, we recommend that you can have your manuscript professionally edited before submission or read by a native English speaking colleague, or maybe from your English department, or a person who has rich knowledge in article writing. Professional editing will be will enable reviewers and future readers to more easily read and assess the content of the submitted manuscript. All accepted manuscripts will undergo language editing, but however, an additional fee will be charged to authors if very extensive English corrections must be made by the editorial office of the journals. So therefore, it is better to do the English corrections by yourself and with the colleagues available with you. And review your suggestions. During the submission process, please suggest that there is submit the 3 potential reviewers with appropriate expertise reviewing the manuscript. The editors will not necessarily approach these referees. Please provide detailed contact information like address, a phone number, email, all those things. The proposed referee should neither be current collaborator of the co-authors nor have published with any of the co-authors of the manuscript in the last 5 years. And proposed reviewers should be from different institutions to the authors. And you may identify appropriate editorial board members of the journal as potential reviewers. And similarly, you may suggest reviewers from among the authors that you frequently cite in your paper. So those people can be given as the referees, reviewers. Okay, so reviewers' recommendations. This is a gift to the researchers because the others can recommend potential reviewers. And the journal editors will check to make sure that there is no conflict of interest before conducting those reviewers and will not consider those with a conflicting interest. The reviewers are asked to declare any conflict of interest during the review procedure. And others can also enter the names of potential peer reviewers they wish to exclude from the consideration in the peer review of the manuscript during the initial submission process. The editorial team will respect those requests so long as this does not interfere with the objective and thorough assessment of the submission. Okay, so this is an important section. Editorial procedures and peer review. When you submit an article to a journal, there will be initial checks like a grammatical check and a content check and the alignment. So all these things will be checked in the initial checks. Then the paper will be sent for peer review. Then optional open peer review will also be done. Then after getting the reviewer's comment, the editorial decision will be made and revisions will be done. After they will inform whether the paper can be accepted or accepted after minor revisions or reconsider or reject. Such things can be made and we will see those things now. So authors may appeal a rejection by sending an email to the editorial office. Suppose if your paper is rejected, then you can appeal for a rejection. Why my paper is rejected? What is the reason for the rejection? So all those things you can represent. The appeal must provide a detailed justification, including point by point responses to the reviewers or editors' comments. The managing editor of the journal will forward the manuscript and related information, including the identities of the referees, to the editor-in-chief or associative editor or editorial board members. Then the academic editor, being consulted, will be asked to give an advice recommendation on the manuscript and may recommend acceptance or further peer review or uphold the original rejection decision. A reject decision at this stage is final and cannot be reversed. So if your papers are rejected, never be disappointed and try to ask for reasons, and they may consider your paper again. So rejection of articles. Use reviewer commands to improve the articles. Whenever your paper is rejected, the reviewer will be giving some comments why the paper is rejected. So when you submit the same article next time, you have to modify the article based on the reviewer's comments. And 50% of articles are rejected not because of the less novelty, but the poor presentation. The communication is not good. So if you are able to present your paper in a good manner, then you can have the possibility of acceptance. Then protection and publication. Once your paper is accepted, the manuscript will undergo professional copy editing and English editing, proofreading by the authors, then final corrections, pagination, and finally the paper will be published. Then similarly, you have certain submission checklist. So whenever you are submitting a journal to a article to a journal, you must state the aim and scope of a journals. Then you can also use certain templates like Microsoft Word template or LaTeX template to prepare your manuscript. In the cover letter, you have to write the cover letter to the editor, and the cover letter you must include with each manuscript. You should concise and explain why the content of the paper is significant and placing the findings in the context of the existing work and why it fits the scope of the journal. Also confirm that neither the manuscript nor any parts of its content are currently under consideration or published in any other journal. Any previous submissions of the manuscript to same journal must be acknowledged. And the names of the proposed and excluded reviewers should be provided in the submission system, but not in the cover letter. So try to avoid submitting the reviewers list in the cover letter. And plagiarism is more important in the recent days research. So articles with plagiarism is never accepted, and therefore you must avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism includes copying text, ideas, images, or data from other sources, even from your own publications, without giving any credit to your original source. So reuse of text that is copied from any other source must be given in the quotes, and the original source must be given. The plagiarism is detected during the peer review process, the manuscript will be rejected, and if the plagiarism is detected after publication, a correction or withdrawal of the paper is required. And reducing plagiarism is more important. And nowadays, people are suffering how to reduce the plagiarism. For that, there are certain online websites like WordSpinner, www.wordspinner.com, like that. There are websites where you can insert some paragraph and you can convert the sentences without changing the meaning. So it is more important for the present researchers. You can use certain word spinner websites where you can copy and paste your text and you can give convert option. Then the paragraph will be converted into new sentences, but the meaning will remain the same. Similarly, you can use Grammarly software for checking the English grammar. So thank you all. Work hard to become intelligent and work hard to continue as intelligence. And if you have any queries, you can contact me through the given mail ID and mobile number. Now participants can ask for your questions.